college I went to years ago was just rocked by some shocking news. And one of the professors there was caught involved in child pornography. This is a terrible sin, terrible crime. It's a messed up thing. And he was arrested and taken to jail, and there he sat in jail, and then local newspapers, of course, were trying to get the whole story and talking to his family. And they actually uncovered his pastor, a local church here where we live. His pastor was interviewed, and he was asked if this guy went to his church. And he said, yeah, he's a part of our church. He's always been part of our church. And then the pastor went on to say this radical statement. He said, and really, if he ever wants to come back, the door will always be welcome, or I guess open for him here, and he'll be welcome here in this church. That's a risky statement. And think about it. It's one thing to have grace, and that's like scandalous grace, to say you're going to welcome a child pornographer into your church. But when you think about it, Jesus said that the church, that his movement was for sinners. And last time I checked in my Bible, it says that all of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. We've all stumbled and fallen, so how many of us really should be welcomed into the church if you think about it? Brennan Manning writes his book, Ragamuffin Gospel, and in there he writes this statement. Here is a revelation as bright as the evening star. Jesus comes for sinners, for those outcasts as tax collectors, for those caught up in squalid choices and failed dreams. Jesus comes for sinners. That's all of us. Every one of us. So really, the church would be a pretty empty place if it wasn't for sinners being there. And maybe then it leads to a more difficult question. How do we welcome sinners, but still call them to transformation? How do we welcome people in grace, but still say we have to discipline you along the way? How do we love people with that kind of love? Now, there's a good question. Why don't you weigh in on the Facebook page? Tell us what you would do if a sinner showed up at your church.